Hello, and welcome to our second episode of our second season of Girls Got Game here on Hitting the Field Network. I'm your host, Katie Sue Christensen, and today we will be talking about updates to Women's March Madness revenue, the UCA and UDA National Championships, and darts. So stay tuned because Girls Got Game starts right now. Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to start off by talking about women's revenue increases, which is very exciting. And here I have Augie Aronson and Brianna St. Jean with me. Thank you guys so much for being here. How are y'all?
I'm so excited.
Yes.
I'm ready to talk about women getting paid. Women deserve money.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm excited to be on. Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. Thanks, guys. So I do want to talk about how already starting out a strong year for women. So for 2025, they will be getting revenue. Their prize pool has increased, which is awesome. And it's about time since their viewership has also gone up. I know the argument of, men have more people watching their sports, so women, we don't need as much money. But that is untrue. I have here that in the Iowa and South Carolina game last season, women brought in 18.87 million people, and the boys' championship game brought in only 14.82 million people. So I'm here to crush that thing that people like to say. And what do you guys think about that?
I think it's so amazing knowing that women's sports are getting the recognition they deserve, because not only are women's basketball getting views, we have the Toronto Scepters, not to bring up hockey again, but the PWHL, they had a game in the Maple Leaf Stadium, and they had 19,000 people in attendance. It was one of the best games that the stadium has seen in a large period of time, I'll say, but maybe I'm just a hater. So it's so phenomenal seeing not only these women getting recognition, but also seeing athletes getting paid for what they're worth. A lot of men athletes, and they get paid absurd amount of money, and you have to think that we are looking at college basketball in this case. These student athletes, they can get scholarships from this. They can get help with their physical well-being and their mental health well-being, and they can get NIL deals. It's so amazing the opportunities that are coming in to light, seeing everything from, I don't know, I'm just really passionate and I'm very excited to see it.
Yeah, and I love seeing all these viewerships go up. Women's championship game viewership was a 89% increase from 2023 and a 285% increase from 2022, which is awesome. They're getting the recognition they deserve, like you were saying. And men have been enjoying this compensation since 1991. So it is about time that women are doing this and doing their thing, and people are loving it. And I love watching women's sports. I think they are all such beasts. And, seeing women also be able to be feminine, but also be able to do what they do on the court is really exciting and inspiring.
Yes.
So it's great to see that.
It's that Caitlin Clark effect.
It is that Caitlin
One more
Clark
thing about
effect.
the women's. Was it University of Nebraska maybe that held the outdoor volleyball game in their football stadium and they sold over 100,000 tickets?
It's
So
phenomenal.
it's incredible.
People are loving it. So I now want to segue into our March Madness winning predictions, which I think will be really exciting. I'm going with South Carolina. So South Carolina won last season. They won the championship against Iowa, which big game. But I think that they will win. Right now they are ranked 2. I'm a big Joyce Edwards fan, and she's making 12.1 points per game in average, and it's incredible. They are the first in SEC, and yeah, as these highlights go off, you can just see they are non-stop. Look at them. Even the blocking of the ball, I'm always impressed, and I love how they play together as a team. It's very fun to watch, but yeah, so they are ranked 2nd. They have a home win streak of 69, which is absolutely nuts. Dawn Stanley, their coach, absolutely amazing. Definitely helped them win last season. And she actually just got a contract deal, and a $1 million pay raise through 2030, which is crazy. A $25 million contract, which is insane. What do you think about that, Augie?
I mean, it makes her the highest paid women's coach in women's college basketball history, and she deserves every bit of that. She's an incredible coach. I've seen videos of her talking about her game, seen videos of her talking to her team, to her doing interviews. She's incredible, and she deserves every bit of that. So I'm really happy for her.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, they're ranked second for a reason, and they won last season for a reason. So that's why I think that they're going to win. What about you guys? What are your predictions at?
I have UCLA because right now they're ranked #1, and I don't know, I just really like seeing them play. I think they're such a cohesive team, and I mean, they're the #1 seed, so I'm kind of just hoping that they'll stay on top.
17 wins, no losses.
Yeah, exactly. They're first in the Big Ten, 20-0 overall, 8-0 conference. Like, that is so impressive. And it's just like we have a bunch of phenomenal players, like Lauren Betts. We have Kiki Rice, Shania Barker, and just I'm so impressed with the team and how they're playing. Because how have we seen like stats like this in a long time from these teams? Like, I mean, look at Maryland. They're 16-3 and 6-2 in conference play. UCLA is on top of their game, and it's actually phenomenal seeing just the team come together and play like this, and just the stats are impressive. It's truly. I'm excited to see them play.
747 points so far right now, which is
crazy.
They are the highest.
Yes.
Right under them is South Carolina with 717 points. And I just want to bring out that South Carolina is favored to win. But
yeah, but let me bring it up.
Yeah.
Who did South Carolina lose to?
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They lost to UCLA.
Right. Yeah.
You're right. It's possible. All right, Augie, tell me what your predictions are, please.
Yeah, so I got the University of Notre Dame, and their team, it's run through one player, and her name is Hannah Hergaldo, excuse me. She's averaging 25 a game. She's second leading scorer in college basketball. She's first in steals. And this team, they're the best three-point shooting team in the country. They're just incredible. They shoot. Yeah. Hergaldo's got the green light from anywhere. And she's on the smaller end. She's only 5'6", but she finishes at the rim like crazy through crazy contact. And yeah, they're pretty much great at every single category I looked up. They're top 5 in pretty much everything that I looked at. Now, I only worry about them was they're a little small compared to like South Carolina and UCLA.
That's a fair.
But they're top 5 in rebounding in the country. So my fear was kind of put away with that. And they beat some of the top teams. They beat UConn. They beat Texas. And they have other big wins too. And they don't have an easy schedule, but they're really battle tested, and I think they're ready to win it all because they got a great squad, and led by Hergaldo.
I wouldn't be shocked if Notre Dame came and surprised me. They work really well together. Their three-pointers are insane. It's really, really fun to watch them too. I personally wanted to highlight Joyce Edwards because she is honestly one of the reasons why I think that this team will continue to go so far. She is averaging 12.1 points per game, which is awesome. And, you know, during the LSU game, she scored 14 points, 4 rebounds, 1 steal, and, 1 block. Like, it's on fire constantly. And she's just one of those standout players for me. So, yes, I do like South Carolina and, you know, favored to win. But it's more like I'm looking at specific players, too, that have constantly kept up and continue to go. Do you guys have any players that you think like were standout or?
I don't have any players, but I do want to note for Notre Dame, my standout thing generally with Notre Dame is their fan engagement. They have some of the best fans I've seen in so long, and I mean, obviously UCF go Knights, but I don't know. I'm really excited to see the fan engagement in the women's basketball games compared to the men's.
That completely changes the game.
Such a fun vibe.
You know.
I mean, they played a game earlier at home at Notre Dame against UConn, and Paige Beckers. First of all, you can never count out Paige. We all know Paige is incredible. So you gotta keep an eye on that UConn team. Yeah. But when they played UConn at home, I mean, it was a packed out stadium. It was the most packed out game I've seen, and even more than the men's games that I've seen. So yeah, and it was 2 top 3 teams I think in the country. So yeah.
Yeah.
But this team, the Notre Dame team's tested. Yeah. They're ready to go.
Yeah, it was awesome. All right, well, sadly, that is all we have for this segment, but stay tuned because we will be right back with UCA and UDA.
Hello. So I guess the crew's getting ready for the next segment on one of our amazing shows. I'm Nick Cohen, host of season 20 of Hitting the Field, and let me tell you about those amazing shows. On behalf of HTF, we hope you're enjoying today's content, but I'm here to tell you about everything else we offer here at the network. Mondays at 4, HTF Bets goes live for Season 10 with 3 gamblers that, although it may not always seem like it, are here to help us all earn a little bit of extra money while we watch sports. Diego Ortiz, Tyler Brownrigg, and Andrew Gregg's ball knowledge and fun personalities make this show a fan favorite. On Tuesdays, you all loved it, so we brought it back for Season 2. It's Girls Got Game, hosted by Frankie Noble, a show blending women in sports, the biggest sports news stories, and creative segments that make for a fun and engaging show. Next is everyone's favorite sports podcast, The Combine, hosted by who other than Ty Patton, an easygoing, conversational, and technical podcast dropping Wednesdays, also on Spotify at The Combine. Then tune in Thursdays at noon for the network's main show, Season 20 of Hitting the Field, hosted by me. Here, we'll cover any sport, any topic, any story, no matter how obscure. We love some football, basketball, hockey, F1. We also cover baseball, soccer, and we even have to show the UFC love sometimes. Penultimately, TGIF, because Friday is nighttime, hosted by Kathleen Moore and Matthew Bracker. Season 8 of Nighttime is where you'll turn to for all things March Madness, UCF sports, and other collegiate events. We're ending with something brand new. HTFN has never had 6 shows running at once. Also filmed in our new podcast studio is HTFC, hosted by Edgar Rodriguez and Patrick De Leon. Football, or soccer in America, is the most popular sport in the world. Across multiple leagues and cups, soccer is a year-round sport, and HTFC is your news source to stay updated. Also on Spotify, by the way, at HTFC. Outside of our 6-show roster, be sure to tune in to our other content, such as the Studio Days vlog, run by our vlog squad of Brianna St. Jean, Michaela Croker, Ashley Rowe, and Ben Huber. Make sure to follow us on our social medias like Instagram, Facebook, and X to stay updated on all HTFN news. Remember to subscribe right here on YouTube, leave a like and comment, and with that, I think we're ready for your next segment. I'm Nick Cohen. Thank you for your continued support, and back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Hello and welcome back. We will be talking about something I'm very excited and passionate about, UCA and UDA National Championships. And with me today, I have very exciting news. We have Mia Flores and Maddie Jackson, and it's their debuts of Hitting the Field. So yay for you guys. I'm very excited to have you here. How are you feeling?
So good.
I am so scared, but I'm excited. Excited.
No,
I'm excited.
it's just to talk about something that we love.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We're just
exactly.
chatting.
So the UCA and UDA National Champions did just happen January 15th through the 17th here in Orlando at the ESPN Worldwide Sports Complex at the Walt Disney World Resort. Super exciting. Love Disney. And I actually didn't know what this was until last year when I was scrolling through TikTok, and I got a bunch of different dance routines on my page, specifically the one from Ohio State and their My Way jazz routine.
Yeah.
Watched it probably at least 25 times. Yeah. And every time I saw it come up, I'd sit there and watch it, and I was so excited to prepare for next year and seeing what they came up with this time. So we will be talking about that today, and we're going to talk about our favorite that won their divisions. So I wanted to start with Poms. So Poms, for people that don't know, is a type of dance that takes hip-hop, jazz, and cheerleading, and they all kind of mix them into one, and they have pom-poms on top of it. So it is a really fun dance, and University of Minnesota just won, and they also scored the highest out of everybody that competed that day with a 98.4762 score. Incredible. Love to see it. They were so exciting. The music was on top of their game. It just bursted with energy. And I always loved it. I love pom routines. I think that they are something special because I get to see all of these different formations. All these girls are so energetic. These faces, oh yes, I'm watching the video again right now. It just gets me excited. They just eat every single time. So this was my favorite routine personally, and I was waiting for this to win. I know Abby Lee Miller also, I know you mentioned, was waiting for Minnesota to win.
Miss Abby Lee was betting on Minnesota.
Yeah, so for me,
time.
that was my favorite that won. The choreography was incredible. The technicality was incredible. Their forms, every time you look at an arm go up, it looks so, it just is the same. It's in one line, they all look the same. And that's what you strive for here. And so I think that they absolutely deserve that win. I've watched that game, or I watched the routine multiple times. I did want to say Ohio State did do a pom routine
Yeah, they did.
with with nunchuck palms at the end, and they also
was insane. Yeah.
They slayed that down, and they also did like cool slides with the palms, and lots of core strength. Showing these girls are so strong. These are athletes. Like it's great to see. But I want to hear about you guys. Who were your favorite winners, and what did you highlight from what you watched?
Okay, I think we're going to talk about Ohio State.
We can't
not talk
about Ohio State.
They had the rivalry with Minnesota last year, and that's with My Way and Dream On, and it was just crazy. They just really went at it. So they won last year, and we knew that they were going to come back and just like push even harder to make sure that they beat Minnesota again. And they were just crazy. As a Michigan fan, it is super hard to see Ohio State do something really well. And Ohio State's dance team, that's all they know. That's all they do. They are so insane.
Their turns are crazy.
Turns are crazy. So they had perfect fluid moments, perfect static moments. Their facials were insane. Even their turn section. Now, I have a lot to say about their turn section. People were really upset on TikTok. There was a lot of discourse about the one young lady in the front who messed up her turns. And that was she was maybe 2 counts behind. I don't care. She could have fallen on the floor and fell off the stage, and I still would have ate it up. I loved it so much. Their piece was so good. I will say when I first watched it, I wasn't familiar with their music, but it grew on me so much. I literally teared up watching this dance.
And you know why? Because it's Ohio State.
Because it's Ohio State. They're so
they tell great stories in their choreography every year. It's always a great story.
They don't miss.
It's different. It's not, it gets repetitive after watching kind of dance routines over and over again, but Ohio State is really, really great at knowing what to do different and how to entertain an audience.
This part right here.
This was crazy.
I was kicking my feet. Yeah. Choreographed by Ricky Abdea. He really did it with this one. And I like to say that I really liked, they're sticking to their colors. They're black and red, and they did that last year with their red ties. So I think it's important that they said, hey, these are our red gloves. Yeah. You know who it is. It's Ohio State.
I'm choreographing a production myself here at the Rosen campus of Legally Blonde. So when I was watching Ohio's dance, their formations are very intricate and very fast, but absolutely perfect, and I did maybe take some inspiration from their formations, because it's so formations get kind of, people forget about them and they don't really think about them, but it adds so much. So it was really nice to see. All right, and then can we have your favorite?
I would like to talk about the University of Nevada, Las Vegas's hip hop titled Spit Yo Game. And you know what? They did. They came through and they spit that game.
Yes, they did.
The entire dance was just absolutely electric. It was the form changes, the stunts, the hype from the second they got on and hit that stomp, and watch this, dude, the stomp, crazy from the jump,
That's exactly what you want from hip hop.
Nothing but energy, hype, and you see that, and you're like, okay, I'm about to be sat, mouth open, jaw dropped for the next minute and a half.
Everyone had their facials on too.
Oh yeah,
it was all hitting their counts.
There is a part at the end. There's a part at the end. The homeboy in the front pulls a cloth out of his mouth.
Oh yeah.
A whole cloth, magic trick cloth, and then everybody on the floor hits a split.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Well, also with hip hop, I feel like it's a little harder to make a lot of new formations, because with jazz you can move, you can travel a lot. I feel like with hip hop it's a little more sharper, so it's hard. UNLV, they don't care. They're gonna go back and forth. They're gonna go they just make it happen. They're gonna be.
They utilized everything that they could.
They're gonna make some good visuals.
They came out. They did backflips. They did aerials. They had.
Everything you need to see in a hip hop routine, they showed outlet and more.
Exactly. It's one of those routines you sit there and watch it and you're like, oh my god.
you want to do it.
Oh my god. We're low-key moving. It was so good, so electric, and honestly, they beat second place San Diego State by a whole 2.5 points. That's how crazy good this dance was.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
I'm glad that they are getting the recognition they deserve, and I'm glad I got to watch it all this year. Next year, if you missed it, make sure that you tune on in and watch them because you will be amazed and you'll love it. That's it, sadly, for what we have for this segment, but stay tuned because next segment we'll be talking about darts.
Every on-screen moment is a whole team of engineers and technologists.
And you can be a part of such a team through SMPTE at UCF. You'll join a team of students just like you who are ready to innovate the future of TV and film.
With SMPTE at UCF, you'll be able to connect with local industry pros, learn about new technology in the industry, as well as get backstage experience that really matters. Join SMPTE for a backstage pass to all of this.
We meet every last Monday of the month for our general body meetings. There, we discuss how new technology is being used to create new media, and we get to highlight local professionals and their specialties.
On top of that, we have some site visits planned, so tune into our social media to be notified of when those will happen.
So if you're ready to pull back the curtain and find out what really happens behind the scenes, join SMPTE at UCF.
Hello and welcome back for our last segment, and it's on darts. I have to say I did not know much about darts before this, but I was very excited to learn everything I have. With me, I have Augie again. Thank you, Augie, for coming back, and I also have Robert to talk about darts with us today. So thank you guys. How are you feeling? I know you.
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on. It's exciting to be here making my debut.
Yes, debut. We're getting all the debuts today. So Luke Littler is a 17-year-old boy who just took home the World Championship of darts, which is crazy for a 17-year-old. What did you guys think about that?
Well, I think the whole sport of darts, it's kind of incredulous to us here in America because our culture is so different. But overseas in Europe, it's so much so that they grow up around the pubs, around the atmosphere of that kind of a sport where their families go. Like when they hit university, they all go and they hang out at the pubs on a Friday night, Saturday, Sunday night. And so they're out there playing darts so much that it's part of their lifestyle and they love it, which is why the 17-year-old, he's an English-born native and he was utterly dominant.
It's just part of the culture, I suppose.
I mean, they grew up playing it. That's probably where they all learned how to play, so it makes perfect sense for them in the environment that they're playing in, too. It's kind of like a converted, it's almost like a bar that they're kind of playing in, too, because I don't know if you've seen much of the pictures of it and stuff. They had the stage, but everybody else is just sitting around tables and bar stools.
They're all rowdy. They're loving it.
It's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's really happy. It seems like a very fun place to be. But yeah, January 4th, he took that home, and it was insane. I didn't really know that people can play darts this well. Because I mean, I've played it a couple times. You know, I throw, and you know, if it gets on the board, I'm happy. But the precision that these people have. And I also had to learn a lot about the scoring. So can one of you take it away? Because I was really intrigued on how it works.
Yeah, so it sort of is variable throughout the tournament, but it's set up similar to tennis where you have sets and matches. And so in darts, you start out in the first round, you have a set of 7 matches. Each match is built by best of 5 set. So you win first to 3, and then you take that match, and then it's first to 7 matches. Okay. And so you build up through those sets to win matches, and you go through, you're throwing about 260, 270 sets of darts throughout the whole tournament from the start to the end. But it's a long tournament. I mean, these guys play from December 15th through January 4th. It's half a month of a long WDC.
And you start, each match starts, you start at number 501. You have to get down to 0. Perfectly 0, because you can't go over. You go back to the score that you started at your round with if you go over. And you throw the 3 darts per round, and then it goes on. And you can get a max 180 per score. And there was a couple in this tournament. They're called 9 darters, where you perfect it to where you get exactly 9 darts, and I think it's 7 triple 20s, a triple 19, and a bullseye.
Yes.
Crazy.
And it happened twice. Luke Littler almost did it in the finals. He got the first.
He got 11.
Yeah. He did it in 11. He did his first 6 triple 20s, but on his 7th throw, he did barely miss. But yeah, I mean, like you're talking about, the precision is incredible.
Yeah.
Like when I tried to play darts, I'm lucky if it even hits the board.
Oh, I'm just aiming for the bullseye and praying it lands.
Yeah, exactly.
Aim for the middle and hope it hits somewhere around it. Yeah.
It was very cool seeing someone so young, do this, and it's probably will keep more young people interested in the sport, and continue this. And I did want to say he he was there last year when he was 16. He didn't win, but he made it there, which is incredible.
He was all the way to the finals.
Yeah, all the way to the finals at 16, which is awesome. But Michael Van Gerwen is who he beat, and he is a 3-time champion. So that's also an accomplishment in itself. I know that you want to talk about a little bit of Michael.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring up Michael a little bit because Michael, we were talking about the perfect 9-darters. He was actually the first ever and first and only televised 9-darter where he didn't get 180 at the start. So the typical route for a 180 is where you go triple 20, triple 20, triple 20. Mm-hmm. So you get 180 off rep. He started getting a 174, so he had to finagle the scores a little bit. But he's been so consistent over the years. This man, he's won the championship 3 times. He made the final again this year against Luke Littler. Mm-hmm. And I absolutely love him because as a Dutch native, he is so geared up to being that I'm going to talk my stuff and I'm going to go my way through it. And he's so direct. And so he trash talks, just like all of us. It's a common man sport.
Yeah, just like if you were sitting in the pub playing with your buddies.
Yeah, you're talking trash. You're like, oh, I'm going to beat him. And so he's out there, he's talking trash in the interviews. He's out there, he's having a blast. Even on the graphic, we had the picture of him pumping his fist. He gets so excited in the darts that it's just a unique experience.
Yeah.
It's a unique experience.
It's a completely different sport. I mean, I've never really, there's probably tournaments for everything, I'm coming to learn. But it is a completely different sport, but it's nice to see that there is like a huge culture around it and that everyone really gets into it. And you play with your family and, you grow up playing it and then you have the chance to be in tournaments like this and just get really good at it. I love to see it. And Luke had great sportsmanship and all of them just, you can tell, are really happy to be there at the end of the day. And, Michael even gave him a hug after it. Like, everyone's really excited for everyone. And Luke being 17 years old, he has a long way to go now. Like, he can continue to make history and continue to get better, which is very exciting. And, it'll make other people want to work harder, too, because their 17-year-old just came in and just showed him up. So they're like, this can't happen again.
But, I mean, even in darts, you have people that go and you analyze this so much that you look at Michael and his long dominance. There are stats that track this dominance, and there are stats that predicted Luke Littler to be as dominant as he was. In the past, it's been, you look at how, when you throw those 3 darts, what's the average score of your 3 darts when you throw them? Michael Van Gerwen was the highest average score for the past 12 years. And then last year, Luke Littler and Luke Humphreys both surpassed him. And so they sort of predicted before that World Championship that Luke Littler was the next big thing. And lo and behold, he had an absolutely dominant performance.
And then Humphreys beat Littler last year, and when Littler was just 16. But when I was watching the broadcast, they were talking about the fact that Littler was playing Van Gerwen when he was 10, 11 years old.
That's crazy.
Darts is not a sport where you have to be a certain age to play. You can play it at any age, which is what, to me and Rob, makes it so much fun to watch, because you don't have to be physically gifted. You can just go throw a dart at a dartboard and stay inside. Yeah. And that's what makes it, like he was talking about, the everyday man sport.
Yeah.
And that's what's so awesome about it. And also the walkouts. Did you see the walkouts?
Yeah, the walkouts.
It's electric.
The walkouts were crazy because there's a bunch of people that are very inebriated, I'll say, just cheering you on. Like they're signing autographs, like Stephen Bunting with what was it, Titanium by David Guetta? Sorry, how do you say his name?
Yeah.
I mean, he's signing autographs as he's walking to.
He's getting ready.
Walking to the stage, it's like a UFC fighter walkout almost. He's like hugging his family, like getting ready to go. It's just so awesome. It's just so much fun, especially with the crowd reaction and all. I don't know what you thought about it, but I thought it was just so awesome.
Yeah. It's electric, and everybody can get into it because it's something you can do from your own home.
Exactly. That's why it makes it such a fun sport to be a part of, and I will definitely be now keeping up with darts. I hate to say it, but this is it for all the time we have today. But thank you so much for joining us for Girls Got Game, and I can't wait to see you next week.